If you are driving on UK roads right now, I need you to stop whatever you are doing and listen very carefully, because what is about to happen in the next 24 hours could affect every single driver in this country. The rules around your driving license are changing, and millions of people have absolutely no idea. We are not talking about a small tweak or a minor update buried in government paperwork. We are talking about changes that could see you hit with fines, penalty points, and in the worst cases, a complete driving ban, all because you did not check one simple thing on your license. So, before you get back in that car, before you start that engine, stay with me, because this video could save you hundreds, possibly thousands of pounds. Welcome! You are watching UK Fines Alerts, the channel that cuts through the noise and gives UK drivers the information they actually need to protect themselves, their wallets, and their freedom to drive. Right then, let us get straight into it, because time is genuinely short on this one. Your driving license in the United Kingdom is not just a plastic card you shove in your wallet and forget about. It is a living, legal document, and the DVLA has very specific rules about what it must contain, what must be kept up to date, and what happens when those details fall out of sync with reality. Most drivers treat their license like a piece of furniture. They get it, they put it somewhere, and they never look at it again. That attitude is costing people dearly. Here is what most drivers do not know. Your driving license has a photo renewal requirement built into it. In the United Kingdom, the photograph on your photo card driving license expires every 10 years. Not the license itself necessarily, but the photograph. And here is where things get serious. You are legally required to renew that photo before it expires. If you are caught driving with an expired photo on your license, you can be fined up to £1,000. £1,000. Not a slap on the wrist, not a verbal warning. A four-figure fine just because your photo is out of date. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, that will never happen to me. The police are not going to check that. But let me tell you something. With the expansion of ANPR cameras, roadside checks, and digital verification systems that have been rolled out across the UK in recent years, the chances of your license being cross-referenced against DVLA records have never been higher. Officers can check your license details in seconds, and if something does not match up, you are flagged instantly. Let us talk about the address on your license, because this is the one that catches the most people out by a massive margin. If you have moved house, even once, in the last several years, and you have not updated your driving license address, you are already breaking the law right now. This is not an opinion. This is not a grey area. Section 99 of the Road Traffic Act 1988 places a legal obligation on every license holder to notify the DVLA of any change of address. The fine for failing to do this is up to £1,000. Think about how many people move house and never update their license. The number is staggering. Millions of people across the UK are unknowingly committing this offence every single day. They update their bank, they update their insurance, they might even update their passport. But the driving license, it stays the same. And then one day, during a routine stop, or after an accident, or when renewing their vehicle tax, it gets picked up, and suddenly they are facing a fine they never saw coming. And here is the critical part of this that ties directly into the 24-hour warning. The DVLA periodically conducts data sweeps and cross-references its records with other government databases, electoral rolls, and insurance records. When your address on your license does not match your registered address elsewhere, it triggers a flag. Drivers are then contacted and given a window to correct the issue. If they do not act within that window, enforcement action follows. If you have received any correspondence from the DVLA recently, or if you have moved in the last few years and not updated your details, now is the time. Do not wait another day. Now let us talk about medical conditions and eyesight, because this is the area that causes the most devastating consequences for drivers who ignore the rules. If you have a medical condition that affects your ability to drive safely, you are legally required to declare it to the DVLA. This includes things like diabetes that requires insulin, epilepsy, certain heart conditions, sleep apnea, and a range of other conditions that the DVLA lists on its official website. Failing to declare a notifiable medical condition is not just a fine. In serious cases, it can result in your license being revoked entirely. And if you are involved in an accident while driving with an undeclared condition, your insurance could be void, completely void. That means you are personally liable for every penny of damage, injury, and legal costs that result from that accident. The financial and legal consequences of that situation are almost impossible to calculate. Eyesight is another massive one. The legal requirement for driving in the UK is that you must be able to read a standard number plate from 20 meters away. That is the minimum standard. If you cannot do that, you should not be driving. And if you are stopped and asked to do that test and you fail it, your license can be revoked on the spot. Many drivers have not had their eyes tested in years. Vision deteriorates gradually, and people often do not notice until it becomes a real problem. If you have not had an eye test recently, book one this week. It is not just about the legal requirement. It is about your safety and the safety of every other person on the road. Let us now move on to penalty points, because the rules around endorsements and totting up have some critical thresholds that drivers frequently misunderstand. If you accumulate 12 or more penalty points on your license within a 3-year period, you face automatic disqualification under the totting up procedure. This is well known. What is less well known is how those points interact with other offences and what magistrates can and cannot do in those hearings. Many drivers do not realise that even if you are under the 12-point threshold, a single serious offence can still result in disqualification at the magistrate's discretion. Speeding at a very high level above the limit, using a mobile phone while driving, dangerous driving, these can all result in a ban regardless of how many points you currently hold. And the way points are calculated and the way totting up periods are assessed has been subject to updated guidance that courts are now applying more rigorously than before. If you are approaching 9 points on your license, you are in the danger zone. One more offence, depending on its severity, could push you over the threshold and result in a ban. If driving is essential for your work, a ban is not just an inconvenience, it can cost you your job. We speak to drivers regularly who have lost employment because they underestimated how close they were to the limit. Check your license. Check it on the DVLA website right now. You can view your driving record online in minutes. You will see every endorsement, its date, the offence code, the number of points, and the date those points expire. This is information you need to have at your fingertips, not information you should be discovering at the roadside during a police stop. Now, for new drivers, the rules are even tighter and the consequences even more severe. If you passed your driving test within the last 2 years, you are on what is effectively a probationary period. During those first 2 years, you only need to accumulate 6 penalty points, not 12, before your license is revoked. 6 points, that is 2 speeding offences, that is 1 distraction offence and a camera flash, and if your license is revoked as a new driver, you do not simply get a ban and then come back, you lose your license entirely and you have to start again from scratch. Theory test, hazard perception, practical test, the whole process. The cost, the time, the inconvenience, all of it because of 6 points in 2 years. This is why new drivers absolutely cannot afford to be complacent. If you have passed your test recently, if you have a son or daughter who has passed recently, make sure they understand exactly where they stand on that 2-year probationary rule. Let us also touch on driving license categories, because this is another area where people run into trouble without realizing it. Your license does not just authorize you to drive any vehicle. It authorizes specific categories of vehicle. Category B is standard cars. But if you want to drive a minibus, a larger van, or certain agricultural vehicles, you need the correct category endorsement. Many people assume that because they can drive a car, they can drive anything up to a certain size. That assumption is wrong, and driving a vehicle outside your license category is a serious offense that can result in prosecution, a fine, and points on your license. Always check your license categories before getting behind the wheel of an unfamiliar or larger vehicle. So here is what you need to do right now, today, before you go to sleep tonight. Go to the DVLA website and view your driving license record online. It takes 5 minutes. You will need your national insurance number and your driving license number. Check your address is correct. Check your photo expiry date. Check your penalty points, the codes, the dates, and how many you currently hold. If you have a medical condition you have not declared, look at the DVLA's list of notifiable conditions and check whether it applies to you. If you are in any doubt about your eyesight, book an eye test immediately. These are not optional steps. These are legal obligations. And in a climate where enforcement has become more sophisticated, more data-driven, and more consistent, the idea that you can slip through the net is becoming less and less realistic. The drivers who protect themselves are the drivers who stay informed. The ones who get hit with unexpected fines, who lose their licenses, who find their insurance void when they need it most, are the ones who assumed everything was fine without ever checking. Do not be that driver. If this video has been useful to you, share it right now with every driver you know. Send it to your family group chat, share it on your social media, post it in your local community group. Because the person you share this with might be driving right now with an expired photo, a wrong address, or penalty points they have not kept track of. You could genuinely save someone from a life-changing fine or a driving ban just by hitting that share button. And make sure you subscribe to UK Fines Alerts. We cover exactly this kind of information every single week. Changes to the highway code, updates to traffic law, fines you might not know about, enforcement campaigns targeting specific areas and specific offences. This is the channel that keeps UK drivers one step ahead. Hit subscribe now, turn on the notifications, and you will never be caught off guard by a rule change again. UK Fines Alerts. Stay legal, stay informed, stay on the road.